Imagine for a moment that an ancient truth about the soul was deliberately erased from history. What if the teachings of reincarnation, an idea central to many ancient cultures, were once part of the Christian faith but vanished from the Bible? What happened, and why was it removed? This is the untold story of reincarnation, the secret hidden for centuries within the pages of Christian doctrine until now. In today's video, we're going to explore three crucial chapters: the mystic Origen of Alexandria, the shocking erasure of reincarnation at the Council of Constantinople, and the modern interpretations that suggest reincarnation may still have its roots in biblical teachings. This is a journey that will shake the very foundation of what we think we know about the soul. Stay tuned until the end as we unveil what the modern church might still be hiding from us. Our journey begins with Origen of Alexandria, one of the most influential early Christian theologians. Living in the 3rd century, Origen was a brilliant scholar who sought to reconcile Christian teachings with the vast knowledge of Greek philosophy. Among his many controversial beliefs was the idea of the pre-existence of souls. Origen believed that souls did not just appear upon birth, but had a history that extended long before human existence. In his teachings, Origen hinted at reincarnation as part of the soul's eternal journey, each lifetime serving as a lesson toward spiritual perfection. Origen suggested that after death, souls could continue their ascent toward God, or, if not yet pure, might return to the earthly realm for further growth. This teaching aligned with many of the great philosophers of his time, but more importantly, it found resonance in many early Christian circles. It made sense. If the soul is immortal, why should it be bound to only one life? But Origen's ideas were controversial, and centuries after his death, his works were condemned as heretical. The early church leaders feared that such teachings threatened the authority of institutional religion. If people believed in the idea of multiple lives, what need would there be for salvation in this one? It's here that we begin to see the seeds of reincarnation being erased from Christian doctrine. Fast forward to the year 553 AD, the Council of Constantinople, also known as the Second Council of Constantinople. This moment would be a turning point in Christian history, where powerful political and religious leaders gathered to decide the fate of several theological ideas. One of the targets at this council was Origen and his teachings, particularly his views on the soul and reincarnation. Under pressure from Emperor Justinian, who sought to unify the church under strict orthodoxy, Origen's teachings were officially condemned as heresy. This was no small event. It was a systematic effort to erase any belief that could undermine the church's authority over spiritual matters. Reincarnation, in particular, posed a threat because it suggested that humans had multiple chances to attain salvation, diminishing the urgency of redemption through the church's sacraments. But here's the fascinating part. Many scholars believe that the condemnation of reincarnation was not just a theological stance, but a political one. Emperor Justinian saw the idea of reincarnation as a direct threat to his vision of a unified Christian empire. If people believed that they had multiple lives to perfect their souls, they might not submit to the strict control of the church in this one. And so the concept of reincarnation was scrubbed from official doctrine, hidden in the shadows and buried beneath centuries of church dogma. While the formal teachings on reincarnation were removed, the Bible itself may still contain subtle hints at this ancient belief. Several verses have been the subject of debate among scholars who suggest they imply a belief in the cycle of rebirth. Take, for instance, the words of Jesus in the Gospel of John when he speaks of John the Baptist as the returned Elijah. In Matthew 11:14, Jesus says, "And if you are willing to accept it, he is the Elijah who was to come." This statement has long puzzled theologians. Could Jesus be hinting at a belief in reincarnation, that John the Baptist was, in fact, Elijah reincarnated? And then there's the conversation in John 9, where Jesus and his disciples encounter a man who was blind from birth. The disciples ask Jesus, "Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" This question implies a belief that the man could have sinned before his birth, a clear nod to the concept of the soul's pre-existence or even reincarnation. Why would the disciples ask such a question unless the idea of pre-birth existence was part of their understanding? Despite the removal of reincarnation from formal church teachings, these verses linger, offering tantalizing glimpses into a forgotten past. Could it be that the early Christians, much like Origen, held on to the belief that the soul had many lives to live? Though the Church attempted to suppress the belief in reincarnation, it has resurfaced in modern spirituality, often in surprising places. Today, many people in the West are rediscovering this ancient teaching, finding it in New Age beliefs, mystical Christianity, and even scientific studies on past life experiences. Modern thinkers, mystics, and even psychologists have opened the door to discussions on the soul's journey through multiple lifetimes. Renowned figures like Carl Jung spoke of the collective unconscious and the possibility of ancient memories residing in the psyche, echoes of lives lived long ago. Even near-death experiences have sparked interest in the idea that death is not the end, but merely a transition to another phase of existence. In fact, reincarnation has become a bridge between Eastern and Western spiritual traditions, with many Christians today exploring the possibility of reincarnation as part of a broader, more inclusive spiritual path. Could it be that the idea was never fully erased but only hidden, waiting for a time when humanity would be ready to rediscover it? So, where does this leave us? We've uncovered a hidden history, a truth that was deliberately removed from Christian doctrine. From Origen's bold teachings on the soul's pre-existence to the political maneuverings of the Council of Constantinople, the concept of reincarnation has been buried and concealed for centuries. And yet, despite all efforts to erase it, hints of reincarnation remain, embedded in the scriptures, waiting to be rediscovered. As we look toward the future, we must ask ourselves, what else has been hidden from us? What other truths have been manipulated, altered, or buried by those in power? The journey of the soul is far more complex than we've been led to believe. And now that we've uncovered these secrets, it's up to you to continue exploring them. Will you accept the truth? If you found this exploration eye-opening, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to join us on more deep dives into the mysteries of history and spirituality. And let me know in the comments, do you believe reincarnation was erased from the Bible? What other spiritual secrets do you think are still out there, waiting to be uncovered? Until next time, remember, the truth can be hidden, but it's never truly lost. It's always waiting for those who are ready to search for it.